Well, I have some bad news for my wallet, at least. I have rediscovered local knife shows. Now, I live in an area where I am just a few hours from any number of amazing shows that are small and large, including Blade Show Atlanta, the biggest one in the world, I believe. And let me tell you, the local ones, the small ones, it's gonna be bad for my wallet. Let's take a look at what I got. If you love knives, flashlights, bags, pouches, all EDC gear and everything in between, make sure you're subscribed, because why not? It costs you nothing and it really helps us out. And don't forget to make the algorithm happy by hitting that like button as well. We appreciate it in advance. Thank you so much for being here. All right, just a quick programming note before we get started. If you have not subscribed to the channel, you really should, because October is full of stuff that I've been planning that I'm really looking forward to. I've got a couple of pouch reviews that I want to talk about, some October themed carries. We're going to have an orange carry, some nutsack bag reviews. I've got a nutsack bag that I really want to tell you about that I've been using for the past 2 months. I've even got a belt review coming, as well as a mega flashlight review that you're not going to want to miss. So make sure that you hit that subscribe button. Programming note done. Back to the video. All right then, all joking aside, I am really starting to enjoy local knife shows again. This particular one is one that I went to in Lawrenceburg. It was the, I cannot remember the actual name of it, but I think it was the South Tennessee knife show, and it was only knives. So this is some of the things that I found there. I was incredibly excited to find some of these. I will tell you that when it comes to vintage knives and any sort of antique knives, I really like eccentric, oddball things. I love case knives. I love the fact that I do have a number of case knives, and we'll have a future video about that. But I really like just unique stuff, weird stuff, and you'll see some of that here. You already see some of that here in this stack. So let's start with one of the simplest ones, and this is just a commonly held belief. This is an Imperial. We'll put the thing up here and move these to the side as well. This is just a regular Imperial slip joint. Imperial is, this is the IMP, if you can see, the IMP 22. It's got a nice blade on it. I don't know, it's just a kind of a stainless steel blade. This was $5. You can get these on Amazon for 10 or 12 bucks. And so not a big deal at all. They're very good. You get a nice little shield right there as well. Good ergonomics on the handles. This is just a very good, solid little knife. And of course it's a slip joint. It doesn't have any kind of locking mechanism, non-locking there. But it's really just a neat little nice. I've never had an Imperial, so I wanted to make sure to pick one up. And this was just one of those little $5 pickups that I thought about. Got it brand new, hasn't been used. So again, you're probably very familiar with those. Again, I'm sometimes not familiar with all this stuff. You might think having a channel about EDC and knives and flashlights and things like that, I would be an expert in all of this stuff. I'm absolutely not. All right, speaking of unique, this one right here is one of the most unique ones that I think I've ever found. This is an Almar, or however you want to pronounce it, Stinger. It's a gray Stinger. And if you notice this little button right here, you push it and you can release it out, and it's got a blade on it that's pretty good. Again, this is a brand new, almost brand new, never used. Nice blade on there. I looked this up. This is D2 steel, actually. Japanese made. I just love that. That's just so cool. And it clicks back into place. You've got, this is rubberized on the outside, and you've even got a keychain link. I could replace that if I really wanted to, but it's got a keychain link there. I mean, it's just super cool. And you've even got a little finger choil here to where you can cut things that you need to cut. And it's just really neat. Almar apparently was a precursor to Kershaw knives. Now, you may correct me on that in the comments if I'm wrong about that, but that's what somebody told me at this knife show, that Almar was a precursor. The guy that did some of the Almar stuff went on to design some Kershaw knives or something like that. So I'm a big fan of Kershaw, and it has reminded me as I'm sitting here talking about it that I haven't talked about my favorite Kershaw knives on the channel. So upcoming video idea. But that is the Almar Gray Stinger. I've got two little tiny ones here that you probably are wondering, what in the world? These were the finds of the show, in my opinion. These were just incredible, and I'll zoom in on them here, but these are absolutely tiny, tiny little knives, little folders that they managed to fit 4 blades into. These are, I've seen a couple of different variations of them, but these are Kinfolk's brand knives. So you got 4 blades there, and I mean, just look at the condition. It says Germany on the blade here, and these were obviously manufactured in Germany, but you can actually see on the blade here, you've got an imprint of Kinfolk's right there. And the other one is interesting because it's almost the same style, but it's a tad bit different. These were being sold as a lot, and I actually gave $40 for both of these. I thought these were the cutest, awesomest little knives, and these would be perfect little pocket knives for your coin pocket or whatever. These little blades are sharp too. To give you a comparison, so here's a SD card next to these knives, and I mean, it's barely, it's like, look at that. And I love the size that, oh, excuse me. And I love the way that the blades are arranged inside. Just really, really cool. This one's got kind of a acrylic wood looking pattern. This one obviously has the pearl pattern. I'm really partial to pearl pattern knives. If there's one for sale, I'll probably buy it. But again, these knives, these little blades, very sharp. Not sure what kind of steel, but I was told they were stainless steel. And they are pretty pricey if you look at these on the web, which, by the way, there's not going to be a lot of links in this episode to buy these knives because I'll have a couple of eBay links, but not likely I'll have actual links to buy these because these are mostly vintage knives. The Imperial, though, that will be on Amazon for sure, and you can get that for like 10 bucks. That'll help out the channel if you do that. So, back to these Kinfolk's knives. These are just, these apparently, according to the guy that sold them to me, again, from the 1960s. And so you're looking at 50-year-old knives here. Amazing little quality, amazing shape. The stainless steel, they don't look like they've really been used or sharpened. They probably sat in a box for decades. I'm so happy to have these tiny little knives in my collection. Moving on, we've got 2 that I really don't know a whole lot about except for the brand name. I don't know exactly where they came from, but I just loved the pattern on this. This is it's all metal. These got metal scales on them, and look at that craftsmanship. Look at that intricate stuff. You got a little bit, it's a little bit better on this side. This side is a little bit beat up, but you can see Fightin Rooster, and that's an old case knife competitor. Fightin Rooster was one of those companies, and this one's a little tough to open. I need to get some oil on it, but you've got Fightin Rooster Cut Company, and these were obviously manufactured in Germany. Just amazing looking blades here. I know I've got some fingerprints on them and whatnot, but really cool looking blades. Good snap on them. This one's a 2-blader. It's got a small blade and a medium blade, both very nice and sharp. And you've got a little inscription of 2 Fightin Roosters there, if you can see it on the thing. There's literally roosters that are fighting one another. Probably not very politically correct, but oh well. Again, I don't know the date on this. Somebody told me it was 1980s. Not real sure. So if you know anything about that knife, in general, it's metal scales on it. Fightin Rooster, give me a shout out in the comments. This one right here is a hen and rooster. It's got it on the blade there. Very nice inscription on the blade. Again, this one looks like it hasn't really been used. It's got a little bit of wear and tear right there. But I love the scales. This got kind of synthetic scales on it. Very nice looking spine, stainless steel down through there. This is just a 1-blader, so it's kind of a slip joint 1-blader. Just look at that. I mean, look at it. I love these kind of blades. And again, I'm a huge fan of case knives. Like I'm very mad. This is by the way, this is Bertram Cutlery. And this is the Rooster, Fightin Rooster Bertram Cutlery. And so you've got that on the blade. But as you see here, these knives are just good snap on that. Knives are just, I love these kinds of eccentric, maybe unique looking knives, not the conventional looking knives. Speaking of unconventional looking knives, the one that caught my eye for a bunch of reasons. One, because it was in the box, but two, it was from Parker Cut Company, and this says surgical steel on it, so I'm imagining that it's a brand of stainless steel. But this is the 1982 World's Fair 1982 World's Fair Knoxville, Tennessee special edition knife. You can see the inscriptions here. You've got it's a lot like it's got brass scales on it. It's almost the same kind of, it's almost the same knife, honestly. It looks exactly like the same kind of knife, same kind of style as the Fightin Rooster here. But I love this is for the World's Fair, obviously, and you've got some, really cool detailing here. Knoxville, Tennessee. I had to pick it up because it was Knoxville, Tennessee, obviously. 1982 World's Fair. You've got Boone, you've got Crockett, Jackson. You've got a couple of inscriptions here. If you flip it over, you've got a space shuttle. Of course, 1982 would have been really big for the space shuttle because the space shuttle launched in, I believe, 79 or 80, so it was very, very young. But solar energy, man, they were just getting into solar energy, right? And again, 40 years ago almost, and there's an Indian here, or excuse me, Native American right here. And just really cool. The blade is in perfect shape. It looks like it has never been used at all. Of course, this is a Parker Cut Company blade. It just looks absolutely fantastic. And again, needs a little bit of oil, but at the same time, these knives are in really good shape. Just had to make sure to pick that one up. That one wasn't very much. I think somebody gave it to me for 20, and so was able to do that. Pretty sure the scales are brass and the blade is stainless steel. Really cool on that. The last thing I want to share with you today, I know this is going to be a little bit shorter video. I found this one. Now, this one's a modern knife. This is not considered any kind of vintage knife. I had heard of the brand Rough Rider, and they look to have some really cool little knives. This one dealer there at the show in Lawrenceburg had some really cool knives. And a lot of Rough Rider branded knives. And these are economical branded knives, but I thought I would pick this one up because it was so incredibly cute. Look at the size comparison here between the Kinfolks and the thing, almost the same exact length. But the cool thing about this is this one's a little thick. It's got these really cool looking scales on them, kind of a micarta scale on it. But check this out. You got a little thumb stud, or not a thumb stud, but a finger stud right here. And you just go, and it's just super quick little knife. It's got kind of a mix of like a stone wash, but a blacked out blade as well. This is listed, it looks like it says RR2313. I don't know if that's a type of steel. I'm pretty sure it's not a type of steel, but that's probably the Rough Rider serial number and things like that. But this couldn't have been more than 15 bucks, I believe. But it's just a super cool, again, little point. It's got a locking blade, but you got this spring assisted kind of thing popping open. It's really, really neat. In case you can't tell, I like smaller knives, obviously. Smaller knives are my jam. So if big knives are your jam, sound off in the comments and say, we need some more big knives on the channel. But this is just really neat. Again, 15 bucks. You can get these on Amazon, so I'll have the link below. But that is it. That is what I got from the knife show. I'm going to be looking at, and I'm really a lot more interested in finding some good deals on some vintage knives, not even vintage, but something, knives that are case knives and different things like that. So thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for being here. Make sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.